Hi, I'm Jasmine. I am 30 years old. I'm from Colorado Springs. I'm the oldest of two sisters, and I come from a single mother household. When I was 18 years old, I got pregnant for the first time. All the thoughts in my head were, there's no way I can possibly do this, and also my priorities at that time were definitely not to be a mother. I had talked to a friend that kind of supported me in the decision to not have that pregnancy, and I just went to one of the centers where they do abortions. It was a very cold experience. I didn't have any deep conversations with anyone at the Planned Parenthood. It was just really, how can we make this happen faster? And so it really just happened so fast. I really didn't feel like I even had time to think about if this really was the choice I wanted to make. With that, I just kind of put it in the back of my head, dissociated from what that choice really meant, and I kind of just lived that 18-year-old life, and I thought that was what I wanted at the time. At 29 years old, that's when I first found out that I was pregnant. Again, I always knew as the years went on that if I ever did get pregnant again, having an abortion would not be a choice that I would make again. But I just remember, even being older, the thoughts that were coming to my head were, I'm not good enough to be a mom, and I'm not financially in a spot that I could be a good mother, and just all the pain of seeing what my mom had to go through raising me and my two younger sisters by herself. But I still had this thing in the back of my head telling me abortion was not an option. That's when I went online and I just looked up free pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, or anything that helped with unplanned pregnancies, and that's where I found Life Network. So that's where my partner and I decided to go. When we went there, the people there were just all very sweet and very nice, and the woman that helped with the pregnancy tests and ultrasound were just very understanding, and I didn't feel that I was obligated to go through with this pregnancy, but I felt like I was actually talked to about, the support that was available for me. My journey, even being pregnant, was it wasn't the easiest one. And there's a lot of times where I would have felt like having an abortion would just be the easier thing, and even sometimes thinking that it would be the best thing, because I never wanted to bring a child into this world and not be able to provide for them, or even make them go through the even cycles of abuse or trauma that I had to experience because of the way that I grew up.
I'll never forget, I asked her a question that I always ask all my clients at that first appointment. I said, how do you feel about this pregnancy? And her answer, she said, I'm excited about it, but I also, I feel like I don't deserve to be a mother. I don't deserve to have this baby because of my past. And she went on to say, I feel like I'm going to be a failure as a mother. And that statement just, it brought tears to my eyes, because I knew that was so far from the truth. And I was able to encourage her right then and there. And I said, God is blessing you with this baby. This is a gift from God. It's not a mistake.
Because of the relationships I had at the pregnancy center, the relationship I had with Sheila, the studying that I had with the Bible through Bridges of Hope, through the support of one another and the understanding that we all had, I think it just also helped us feel loved and encouraged. And so that really helps with healing, is feeling that validation that, you are good enough, and that there is this unconditional love, through Christ.
She was so diligent to meet with me, to set up in a time. We were able to get her in a group, and she participated so well. During the group, it was such a joy to watch her do her homework every week, to allow God to work in her life. And through that, the growth that we saw in her was incredible.
So I want to introduce, this is Liliana Grace. She's about 7 weeks old, and this is just one of my biggest blessings in life. And I just so grateful to see her smile every day, hear those little laughs, see how she's growing and hitting these different milestones. Now I get to spend the rest of my life getting to see her grow and smile, and just so extremely grateful.